This story's a little bit crazy, so bear with me. That is Donald Luntz and that is Kay Whitefeather. And they decided to adopt 5 black children and use them as hired help around their barn. Can we talk about it? And now they going to jail because their neighbors called Child Protective Services on them, and Child Protective Services went over there and found the children covered in bed sores, stinking, wearing nasty soiled clothes, and living inside an outhouse. They didn't even let the kids live in the house. They owned a $379,000 house, and they had the kids living in an outhouse outside of their house, talking about she gonna say that the kids love living there. Can we talk about it? This makes my blood boil. Racism is still alive, no matter how they conceal it. It is still there. West Virginia, you need to go be back part of Virginia, because what's going on in the South? The same thing that's been going on in the South. They really had 5 black children, ranges from the ages of 13 to 16, teenagers, working the fields of their property, of their barn, and they hardly fed them. So apparently one of the neighbors looked over to the property, looked over the fence, and seen that they had the 5 kids lined up with their heads facing down for hours as some form of punishment. And I need them both to go to jail, because they've shown no remorse. And it wasn't like they was living in crazy conditions. Like I said, they had one house that was $375,000 that was right there. That was the main house. The main house, I hate saying stuff like this. And then they had another house a few towns over that was an almost $1 million house. So again, they was literally using these children as hired help around they barn. And no. And so many things I want to say that I can't say that the algorithm is gonna say and y'all gonna say in the comment section. But listen, racism is institutionalized. It is a byproduct of the United States, and some people just can't get it out of them. It's really some places in the United States that are still sundown towns. If you don't know what a sundown town is, I'm going to do a whole video about it because you need to know. It's basically a place where black people couldn't go after dark. You don't want to be there after dark if you're black. And these places are still in the Midwest, and they still in the South, and they still all over. And this is just another example of racism. Again, I'm not tired. It's whatever. We so numb to this now that it's just crazy. But when I see stuff like this, my blood boils. They found the kids in the craziest living conditions. Their clothes were soiled. They was malnutritioned and a bunch of other stuff. They go to jail. And I hope they go to jail populated with certain ethnic groups so they can know, especially you, Donald. All right. And Kay, you just Kay, Karen, what's the difference? All right. Had them really living in an outhouse, like an outhouse, the outside bathroom to a property that they still had on they farm, they plantation. And it's just oh man. Literally, I had to take 2 days. So the news broke on this 2 days ago. I really had to take 2 days to just process this and even say if I want to do the video. But I have to. Who else is going to talk about stuff like this? Literally. And then they're going to say that the children like working on the farm 12 hours a day with no pay, no compensation, no meals. They wasn't even treating the kids right. And then she going to talk about they was homeschooled. So they was homeschooled. The kids literally, their reading levels was below average reading levels for the teenagers, for their age brackets. Like I said, the kids was from 13 to 16. These was teenagers that they really had working. And they found them all living inside this barn. That's the craziest part. They all was inside the barn, living together, cramped up. They didn't even let them live in the house. That's the most despicable thing about this whole story. All right? You're going to adopt 5 kids, and you're not even going to have them living in a house as some sort of... Yo, again, I just got Matilda vibes and a bunch of other stuff. It's just like, this is horrible. Like, yeah, in 2024, I could still be reporting on stories like this. And you can only imagine how history was much, much worse. That we still living in racism and we still living in all of this stuff in 2024. Can you imagine the stuff in history that they don't tell us about? The stuff that they whitewashed and kept away from us? Literally, Donald and Kay, I need y'all to go away for a long, long time. Mind you, they literally adopted these kids for the purpose of having them work. It was no love there, no anything. They literally just adopted them to have them work. And I can't even say let's change the adoption practices in America, because a lot of kids that need homes, and it's a lot of kids that come from broken homes in the foster system, and they need a good home. So, but I do need measure systems so stuff like this does not happen. Do they do psych evaluations on these people? Like, any psych evaluation would have shown that they were stone cold racist and that they had a tendency to have the kids work in the field, like literally. Again, The stuff makes me livid, and that's why I'm here to report on stuff like this. And I'm gonna be going a little bit more interactive and stuff. Can we talk about it in the comment section? Despicable.